Hello and welcome back to another video. So you'll see I am up where we cut the silage. I've just let the yearlings down. They're basically working their way down through it. They're getting a day in each field just to nip around the headlands and things. We don't leave them in for longer than a day, maybe two in the big field below, because we just don't want them nipping at any of the regrowth. The rabbits will do enough of that for us. So yeah, they're just working their way down. They'll do a couple of days in front of my house and then they'll go into another field that I'll have to fence before they go in there. So I will probably try and do that in this video as well. But there's been a few things going on over the last few days. I was just taking a break from the camera, to be honest. So we moved all the cows and calves, so they're all together now. They look like a nice little bunch now, in fairness, with them all together. But yeah, we brought the ones up to meet Michelle and Little Red and their calves. So Isabella came bulling, which is great. She was a first-time calver this year, and she is only the second cow to come back bulling. I'd say the other ones have, but we miss them somehow. But it's great to see Isabella is doing well, you know. And so I painted everyone's tails yesterday, just in case if there are a couple of them that were like, she looks like she's up to something, because we have had a couple of instances of that where they look like they might be coming in and then we don't see anything. So I've the tail paint on all of them. I've as much tail paint on my t-shirt as I do on their tails, because I did a couple of them in the field and sure they were just swishing their tail all over the place. But yeah, they love getting the tail paint on them because it's like a scratch. But yeah, so today now I need to fence off the reseeded patch that we did below, because the cows and calves will be going down there probably tomorrow. Now they'll have 2 wires before it, but look, I just want to make sure it's done. And it's a risky business, you know, we're only using the battery fence on it, so hopefully it will keep them out, because those twins are just bold. They just go through wires. So look, we'll have to keep a close eye on them, and hopefully they don't get into it, because they could destroy it. So I'm going to do that today. I'll show moving the cows and stuff. I want to top the bog above, the place where we're going to reseed, but I'm actually going to try and do that in a separate video, kind of a start to finish job on that. It could take weeks or it could take months. We're, you know, just at the mercy of the contractors really, so we'll see how we get on. But yeah, I'll give you a look at what's on today anyway. Now that's a nice sight, although I wish that little calf would get up, because he's giving me a heart attack, but I'm sure he's fine. So I am down here now, and my original plan was actually to just run a wire from the ditch here straight down to the ditch at the end and do that on either side. But you can probably see there behind me, we have a lot of grass in here at the moment. Yes, we do have a lot of rushes as well, but we have a lot of grass in here. So if we don't feed it this time, it'll just be gone way too strong and they won't eat it when it comes to it. So I'm going to drive 4 posts now instead around the corners, fill in the gaps with pigtails, and hopefully that will do the job. Obviously when we get them into this section here, which is just before the reseed, we're not going to let them tight at all. You know, if they seem to be running a bit low at all, they'll be out of here, because yeah, we don't want to be in a position where they feel like going in there. Not that there is any grass for them to eat in there anyway, but you know the way sucklers are. That is it there behind me. I might take my head out of it and show you a better look actually. So that's how it's looking there now from a height up here. You can see there on the right hand side, it's absolutely tearing the grass. And then it gets a little bit patchier as you go along, but it's coming along. In fairness, I can see grass on pretty much every bit of it, which is great. Could probably do with a bit of rain now after the few dry days we've had, but I'm sure it will get it, knowing Ireland. But yeah, I don't know, can you see there are some roots coming? I assume they're from furze, you know, because this whole thing was just furze and scrub, and I don't know what to do with them. Should I go in and try and cut them back now? Or should I just wait until the grass comes and then let them feed it and go in with the topper and get it that way? If anybody has had any experience with the likes of this, do let me know. Some of it is just loose old roots that I didn't pull out of there, but up here in the really grassy part, I can try and zoom and you'll see it. There are definitely some roots that I want to get rid of, but I just don't know, am I wasting my time trying to get rid of them now or what? Because yeah, I really want this reseed to work, so I don't want anything getting in the way of it, and obviously I do not want furze coming back in there either. So, but that's it. I'll go driving these insanely big posts now and see how I get on. I'm not standing in the gator. Everyone tells me to stand in the gator. I don't stand in the gator because I like to get the bit of physical exercise. So I will whinge and moan about the fact that the posts are too big, but I won't do anything to help myself with it. So yeah, that's why I don't stand in the back of the gator. Jesus. I might cut that out. I might not. We'll see. Now that is the job done there behind me. Good news is it all has power the whole way round. I gave a drive around and checked the whole lot. Bad news is it's about as square as a roundabout, but look, I tried and it should do the job anyway. So as I was doing it, when I was just putting in the first insulator, I just thought one strand is not going to keep them out of here, because anybody with sucklers will know they will just go where they shouldn't. So I then had the idea of doing 2 strands, but then I didn't want to be driving a load of posts. To be honest, in the end, it probably would have been as easy to just drive another post on this one and the one opposite it. The other sides are smaller. So yeah, it's not a square, it's definitely a rectangle if nothing else. But I just tilted the pigtails. So I've one up straight and then I've the other one angled in. I said I'd angle everything in towards the reseed so that they don't come along and start tripping over them and pulling it down or whatever. So I'm hoping this has to be suckler proof. I mean, come on, they can't go through the 2 strands, especially if we're quite generous with the grass. And you can see there behind me, there's a nice bit of grass. So it's definitely time for a sandwich and a cup of tea now anyway. I've another bit of fencing to do and stuff, so I'll just show you when I've that done. And I'll probably just come back to when we are moving the cattle, unless something else pops up in between. Now we're on the move this evening, so I'm just closing the gaps and opening the gate below. But in the meantime, Michelle came bulling. So we brought her in at 10:30 at night, of course, for AI. She was done then the following morning, but I was at work. But it was just handy to have her in instead of getting up at the crack of dawn to do it before work. And yeah, I just put her fresh tail paint on. I'm a firm believer of the tail paint. A nice cheaper option than the others, I suppose, out there, but it's worked really well for us, in fairness. I had a few questions on it after one of my stories on Instagram recently, but I can't fault it. And as I said to the people who contacted me, you might as well just chance it because it's very inexpensive to do it. So yeah, it's the job for us anyway. Ooh, a lot of flies. But anyway, I'm going to fix up these gaps here now and get them moving, and fingers and toes crossed that they behave, or Norma behaves is the main thing. Deborah, come up, come up, come up. Oh, yes, Norma, always Norma. Hi, Norma, cop on, get up. This didn't go well. They all just ran around me. So whenever they're like this, I just get Dad in with the gator, and they all know they can't outrun the gator, so they always just head straight for the gate. Straight in, easy as that. Now they were well behaved in the end once Dad got them out of the field, typical Norma, but put them in, put up the wire, went to grab the lick buckets and the battery fence, and by the time we got back, Debbie was out. Of course she was, just walked through it. Didn't realise she was supposed to stay in here at all, but anyway, we got her back in there. So we have them fenced down to the water down there, and they have this bit up here and then in here as well. So this field, I hope it's not too windy, but this field up to 3 years ago was not fenced, so they just tended to break out and go in to the neighbour's garden, or there's a river down here and go down there, and so we just fenced them out of here. So obviously when we put them back in here, the grass was just so strong and dead and horrible, so they'd usually only get about a day out of this place. Same the next year, it just wasn't right, you know, so they maybe got a couple of days out of it. And then I got the topper, so I'm harping on about the topper again. But I got the topper and I topped it and I spread fertiliser on it, and last year it was good. But this year it is unreal. Can you see it there behind me? I never thought this field would come the way it has. There's a few rushes in the corner over here. I just won't point the camera there because the neighbour's house is right there and I don't want to be pointing the camera right into it. But this was never like this. It's just so nice to see it. And between this part and the bit fenced down to the water, they'll probably get 4 or 5 days in here easily. And that's with us being generous. And I'll just show you one more part of this field that I'm really happy with this year, that has come along a lot better this year than previous years as well. Now this part behind me is on a slope off the field, and basically it gets progressively worse as you go down because it's right on along the stream towards the river down there, so it gets very marshy. But before this place behind me, it was just never a very leafy grass. It was quite stemmy, yellowy. There was just no leaf to it really, and you wouldn't get much grazing out of it. You get a bit. But when we were going up to get the lick buckets there, I said to Dad, "Dad, do you see the grass on the slope?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's because you spread a bit of fertiliser on it." I said, "No, it's not. I spread a bit of fertiliser on it last year as well. It's because I topped it in the autumn." And he just will not concede that it's because of the topping. He would not admit it. He just looked at me. But I am full sure it's a combination. Okay, I know it's a bit of fertiliser and it's a bit of the topping. Obviously the fertiliser will give it the nice green colour. But the grass has come back way better since I topped it. The rushes, they're not half as dense and thick as they were. So again, there's more grass coming up in between them because the light was able to get down into them. So there is just more grass all round. But I couldn't believe he wouldn't just say, "Yeah." And he won't just say, yeah, it's because of the topping. He won't give it to me. But no, things are really good in here this year. I'd say we're probably going to get 5 weeks. I'll try and record it now. I'm going to write down today's date, which is the 5th or the 6th of June. And we'll see how long they do get out of it. But, you know, with the improved grass in the small field I just showed you, with a bit more down here, with a bit of reseed, all of that, you know, makes a difference. And it does make life a bit easier, you know. The less moving, the better. Although I can guarantee you the 3 that haven't come bulling yet will come bulling while they're down here, because they'll make us walk them the whole way up through the field, up the road and into the shed. But look, we're halfway there with it, and as long as they do come bulling, that's the main thing. But I'm going to show you the clean up of the field that they came out of like magic, and I will finish off there then. And that's another job done, and it's tidied up nicely. No more thistles anyway, which is the main thing. But that's it for this video. I'll leave it here, and as always, thanks again for watching. If you liked it, give me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.